Hello everybody, it's your daily report with Angry Tim. I'm doing another one here at our local little small plane airport. You could probably see some of the planes right there behind me. We'll see if we can catch anyone flying in or out today. On the topic of more store closings, bankruptcies, we got more on another retail chain filing for bankruptcy and a little story about shopping and malls. This is coming from thestreet.com. Many of us are still hardy shoppers despite the changes thrown our way in the past several years. But that doesn't mean our habits haven't changed. Some of America's most dedicated shoppers several decades ago could have been found in a shopping mall nearly every weekend. Whether they were teenagers, mall walkers, busy parents doing back-to-school shopping, indoor shopping malls were the place to be. How many of you out there grew up in probably the 80s? That's kind of when I would say it peaked, and then in the 90s they kind of started this outdoor mall experience where it's open air. It wasn't all enclosed, and that was their big thing, to have these open air type malls. But that to me was never really like a shopping mall. I remember they would take an old shopping mall and they just rip out the whole middle roof area, and then they'd call it an open air shopping mall, and then they'd put some of these like sail shades and things up over the middle of it, so it had more sunlight, and they'd bring in trees and things like that, more plants. So that's kind of how they kind of revived, I guess, the shopping experience. But I'm talking about the shopping mall like in the 80s where the whole thing was enclosed. I thought they were really cool. It was like a whole city in there. You had all the stores, they had play areas, arcades, food courts, movie theaters. Sometimes they'd have like ice skating rings, different things like that. So anyway, in the 1980s and in 1990s, more than 50% of all retail activity in the US happened at shopping malls. If that doesn't seem like much, consider the time. There we go. Consider the time commitment going to a mall takes. At peak popularity around the 1980s, the average US consumer spent 12 hours per month inside a shopping mall. But malls are losing their luster. With all that time consumers spent inside, it's easy to understand why most shopping malls had something of a stranglehold on the retail landscape for decades. It's also why most malls typically charge their retail tenants outsized rents. That's right, that was the place to be, right? If you had a retail shop, a shoe store, a clothing store, and you weren't in the mall, then you were just in a little strip mall somewhere next to a liquor store or a donut shop. You hardly got any business or foot traffic. If you were a serious, cool store, you had to be in the mall. That was the place to be. Most malls were located in accessible suburban or urban areas, which attracted a lot of shoppers. And once those shoppers were inside a mall, they tended to spend more time there, which translated to more dollars spent. It's easier to justify higher rents to eager tenants with the prospect of more sales. I read an article the other day talking about, was it Barnes and Noble, but it was like the revival of brick and mortar bookstores, where I don't know if it's Gen Z, but one of the younger generations now are enjoying going to bookstores and reading books, sitting down, touching the books, looking at the cover, instead of just reading everything online. So I don't know, is there going to be a revival into like bricks and mortar shopping malls and things instead of just shopping on your screen? It's different. When you go to a store, you can actually touch what, the clothes you're buying. You can try a pair of shoes on. You can just see all the different, whatever it is you're buying. If you're buying handbags, you can just see all the different styles and colors and touch them, hold them, try them on in person versus just looking at a screen on your phone or computer and doing your shopping that way. It's hard to tell quality. Everyone's, photoshopping all their images, and they got their beautiful models, wearing their clothing line and things. So everything looks great online, but when you get it in the mail, it's a completely different product. You can Photoshop any product to look really good, but it's not like seeing it in person. Okay, so malls are also very costly to build and operate. Most malls are between 400,000 and 800,000 square feet. And all of that has to be heated or air conditioned. I mean, can you imagine the electric bill these malls must pay, which takes a lot to build and maintain. In order to recoup those costs, malls need to charge their tenants more to have a hope of seeing a profit. The model is all well and good until tenants start having financial difficulty. Defaults on payments are the death knell for large and cumbersome businesses like malls, and as soon as malls themselves start to struggle, the whole house can come crashing down rather quickly. As the popularity of malls have faded, the rapid decline of retailers that mainly cluster within malls has followed on. We've seen it recently with the Body Shop, Rue 21, and Express, all mall retailers that depend on robust mall foot traffic to continue their successes. Such is in the case with Forever 21 too. The fashion retailer known for its affordable fast fashion options, popular among teens and young adults, first filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 2019. In February 2020, Forever 21 was sold for $81 million to a group of buyers, including Authentic Brands Group, Simon Property Group, and Brookfield Property Partners. It closed about 350 stores and embarked on a turnaround plan. So let's see, 5 years later, let's see how they're doing. Forever 21 is still struggling. After requesting rent reductions by up to 50% just a year ago, the mall retailer is reportedly considering filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy for a second time if it cannot find buyers for profitable leases. Forever 21 is working on a restructuring plan with BRG, but as external pressures from other fast fashion companies like Shein weigh on the mall retailer, bankruptcy may be the only option. If it does file for bankruptcy again, Forever 21 may have to liquidate and shutter more than its 500 remaining stores. My gosh, how many stores do they have? They still have 500 stores and they're filing for bankruptcy. I wonder if this online thing will ever turn around. You know, Temu, Shein, everyone buying stuff online, Amazon, and people avoiding bricks and mortar and shopping in person and seeing products in person. Do you think that'll ever turn around, or is that just the future? We're just gonna start wearing those VR headsets and that'll be how we shop. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on all this too. Do you like the malls? Do you miss shopping at the malls, or do you still go to bricks and mortar stores to do your shopping, or are you mainly just buying everything online? Do you shop at Shein or Temu? Let me know. I'll get more videos out for you soon. It looks like we got one plane come in, but not a whole lot of activity today. Maybe I'm here at a bad time. I'll get more videos out for you soon. Your friend, Angry Tim.